Yep, damn right. Sawdust is man's glitter. Welcome back to the Empire of Filth once again. We have a couple of things I need to do today, and I've given my back 2 weeks sort of rest. I'll tell you the story. 2 weeks ago was my birthday, right? And I'm officially 40 now. And as you can tell by the grown man beard and the flat cap, although that's what I used to wear before. And we went somewhere, there was all my friends and half the village have been lying to me since October. And Helen arranged for us to go down to Cumbria, down to Lincolnshire, got a big manor house, and we all stayed there, had a big party. And during the day, we're doing laser quest, and I did this like epic sort of dive with the laser gun over a bush, shooting Helen in the head, and kind of landed awkwardly, and I've damaged my my annular tendons in the base of my spine. So it's taking a while to I may wince when you hear me bending over like to pick something up. I may wince like an old girl, but it's genuine pain. It's genuine pain. But you know, chicken hutches need fixing, and trees need planting, and fencing needs done. So 2 weeks back, I'm afraid that's all you're getting. As I said, we're in the Empire of Filth. I've actually opened up the curtains and used a handy dandy piece of string to hold my makeshift curtains up. And it's a cool 3.5 degrees in here, so I may need to bang on the heater. That's that droning noise you'll hear in the background. I just need to get some heat in here because it's freezing. It's unfortunate that only one of the projects that I'm doing today involves me being in here where I can work the machines, and the rest is outside, and it's a grim I'll show you. It's a grim February morning. Up there, those things there, those are rain clouds. And that there, all that there is wet grass. And that's where I need to be working the chickens. And I need to be doing some fencing just down here to stop the chickens escaping out into the car park. This is the grass that I killed, apparently, although I'm not sure I killed it. I think it might be something more vindictive by the people there. However, I think it may have been me that killed that in summer with the car washing, and I've just planted loads of grass seed, and it's slowly starting to sprout up. I managed to chuck enough grass seed on there that the chickens couldn't finish it all off, and hopefully with this rain it'll help it sprout. So, which is all for naught really, because in a month's time we're putting a pony in here, and all that's going to get. So whilst the little heater's kicking in and trying to get it up to at least a dizzy 8 degrees so that I can use my fingers, so I'll tell you about when I first came to the UK in '94. I was fortunate enough to meet up with I got sort of initiated into a group of kids in the area where we lived, and which was quite a hard one to do, being a foreigner. And I had a friend called Richard there, and we were sort of good mates. And as we got older and we drifted apart, and you know, girls and life and work and everything all sort of got in the way, and we started touching base every 3 or 4 years just to see how we are, and it's mainly Richard reaching out really. Out of everybody, he's the only one that reaches out, and I really appreciate that he does. And last night we went for a pint, and it was good. It was good to have a chat, and how, you know, where our lives have gone, and how good things are right now. And he talked about, he does photography, he does landscape photography, not as a full-time job, as a hobby, and he's really passionate about it, and he came into it quite late in life. Obviously he must have had the passion for a long time, but I've got a bit of metal sticking in my leg. and he wanted to start doing vlogging and stuff, and he did his first one the other week, and I haven't seen it yet, and I do need to watch it. And we talked about sort of format and how he goes about it, and what information we put on there, what you put on there, and it's really interesting to see other people trying out diarizing their processes, and I think for landscape photography, I mean, he gets up really early in the morning and drives somewhere before sunrise, and in the UK in winter, like, you know, the sunrise is a bit later, about 7 o'clock, but in summer it's going to get harder because the sun will come up at like 4:30, but you get better skies, and he'll set up and all the rest of it, walking around the flipping wilderness with your head torch in the dark, hoping that you've picked the right spot, setting up the camera and stuff. And I think it's really important that for young amateur photographers coming up, I think it's really important for people that have been doing it a few years to document their processes and document their mistakes more, mainly. But it was a really good chat. We talked about everything. It was we've both come quite a long way, and it was just really nice to see him, really. It's and he's moved a bit closer. He's only down the road, well, 20 minutes. The heater is working, although this shed is a bloody as insulating as a paper bag. It's I didn't build it for speed, but yeah. So anyway, with the discussion that we had about filming and being comfortable in front of the camera and looking into the lens and looking right into your face, it sort of reminded me of how important it is to keep going, to keep filming regardless of the content and regardless of whether I feel happy or not about doing it. Because I've done a few projects now where right at the end, the last nut that went in, or the last staple, or the last screw, I've gone, shit, I didn't film any of it. It would have been a good video. There's been a lot of chickeny stuff recently. It gets a bit dull. It's just warm my hand. It's freezing in here, man. We're at 6.5. 6.5. So what I'll do is I'll take the tape measure out, and I'll measure that that top. See if I've got a piece of scrap down there, OSB or something like that. See that egg there, that egg shape there? That was from the egg box I made. You saw in the other video. I think I might use that for a kind of commode out in the paddock. Don't know yet. See, this is the lid I need to do, and then I need to strengthen the underside of this thing. See if there's anybody in. Oh, there's 2 eggs in there, that's handy. So this is buggered, I need to replace it. Focus. Putting chicken wire, this type of netting wire, up and down the paddock to stop the chickens escaping, because the neighbours' dogs keep mauling the chickens, because the chickens have escaped and they've gone into the farmer's field. And when the neighbours' Dobermans go through, they don't know any better, they're just running after it, which is not a problem. I don't, you know, chickens have to take their chances, and especially out here. So there's a last little bit near the gate that I need to do. That I ran out of light last time. So I just need to get this last little bit done, and then chickens can stop running out into the car park and stop getting into the paddock. But I just got to go find them now, and there's like 5 down in the woods down the bottom, and that's where the dogs cut through to come from the river. So I need to sort the gate out as well, which is like difficult because they're chickens, man. They gang up together and they open the gate. That's what they do in my head. Got my piece cut. I worked out a way, because I got a bad back and I can't use the old staple gun to staple this shit to the fence. I worked out a really cool way of doing it without screwing my back up, which is, and I had some large sort of thick clout nails. And what I did was, when I did the whole length of the paddock, I put clout nails on every post all the way down, and then all I did was I just ran along with the chicken wire and just hooked it on, and then went down afterwards and, you know, strengthened it and pulled it tighter and just whacked them in. So that's what I'm going to do now, and do a bit of sort of what do you call it? Chicken wire, like chicken wire surgery around posts and stuff. So I'm not going to film it because it's cold outside. I just want to get it done, and this battery's going dead. Right. Well, that's the chicken secured. Yeah, you little buggers. Look at them. They were stood right behind me watching me do the fence going, what are you doing? What are you doing? So to count them all. Watch, she's going to get to the fence. She's going to get to the fence and then realise, I can't get through. Stop eating that new grass, you little bugger. Watch. She's going to get to the fence and go, I can't do it, I can't get through. Watch, she'll totally go over it now, she'll just fly over it. So now, we're at 9 degrees. We're warming up. What I need to do is I need to find some wood. It's approximately 700 by 400. Ow. Damn it. Yeah. Damn it. Not wide enough. Oh, that one looks a little bit wider. No, 260. 5 minutes in and they still haven't escaped, which is good. Right. I've worked out that I don't need as big a size as I thought, but this junk is still scrap. And I don't have another piece, so I'm going to have to do it in this pine and then make sure that I'll replace it in a year or 2 years, 3 years, maybe about 2 years, maybe. That's about the right width, 700, 740. I need to cut that, it's just the length. Handy Christmas present from Helen, a borscht jigsaw. The amount of times that you need a jigsaw is quite minimal. What I do really, but it's always handy having one that's actually working. I don't actually know the model of this. This is a PST 700E, but it's got a one thing I've never had before. It's got a forward blower that blows all the crap away from the when you're cutting on the line. Contact. That'll do. Because I'm making this narrower than the original one. The original one like that. It's because it's like a good 10mm thicker in the thickness, and it won't fit inside the lip inside. So what I'm going to do is bang the hinges on there, and then when I put the overlay, the felt over, I'll put an extra flap piece that will slide inside the chicken hutch, and that will stop any rainwater getting in. It should be sufficient. As long as it doesn't fatigue on that corner, it starts to crack. But because the girl, she deserves the best. Ah. Nil pois. That's not gonna happen. There we go, look what I found. This stuff, whenever I get it out, flipping gets everywhere. All the grit that they stick to this bitumen backing just comes away. And it's just sort of, it's like shed dandruff. Ow! Right, that's good enough. It's upside down on there. Getting all the tools out today. It's the HG 2000. As in like heat gun 2000. Heat gun 2000 HG. That's funny. All you need to do is just warm it up a little bit. HG 2000. That should be sufficient. Mind your fingers. so you don't lose any sleep at night worrying about it, because you know. One thing about the Canon G7X, it'll only film for 15-minute increments before it has to have a flipping a little nap, which is really annoying, because when you're just doing stuff, you turn around and it's, Jesus, thing's turned off. I know some of you may be saying, gosh Jamie, why don't you use the staple gun? And you may be right. However, hitting things with a hammer feels a lot better than shooting something with a staple gun. So there's no hard and fast way of doing these corners, because they're a bit tricky. So what I like to do is I like to heat it up and then gingerly fold it over into some kind of corner. When you heat it up just before it melts, it becomes a little bit compliant or pliable, and you can whack a nail in the corner. There's a pair of hinges that go on this side, so I'm going to basically chop back a bit of this on either side, fix the hinge to it. Pencils are a high commodity in this shed. I can never find them. I resort to breaking into other people's sheds and stealing theirs. No! Ah, fuck it. How is this battery dead? Got out to the field. You'll have to excuse the wind noise on account of it being fucking winter. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, 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 oh. She may need a little tweaking. Okay, let's drill it in, see the results. And like most filthy films you've watched, you end up with a whole bunch of mess that you never see anyone tidy up, you know, after you've finished. So, that's it. Oh, I forgot to show you this. Wood burning iron set. Really cool gift from a friend. I enjoy playing with that, tagging stuff around. Little manor farm things. But yeah, that's it. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay safe and don't forget to love each other. See you next time. Hey Siri. Is tomorrow a good day to plant a tree?
Here's what I found on the web for tomorrow, a good day to plant a tree. Have a look.
Dick.